What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Crush City Territory. My name is Chandler Rome, along with Tyler Stafford and Josh Reddick, where we will discuss the Astros scoring 5 runs in 3 games, which ordinarily would be detrimental. Instead, they swept one of the best teams in the National League, showcasing some unbelievable pitching across 27 innings in 3 games against a very, very formidable, very, very highly paid Phillies lineup that did not have Bryce Harper, but did have everyone else available to it. And Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez pitched like the aces that they are. Colton Gordon came in, gave them a very respectable 5-inning start before four left-handed relievers followed him. For the first time in Astros history, they used 5 left-handed pitchers in one game, shut out the Phillies. Josh, I know it's one series in June, but that seemed like one hell of a statement from an Astros pitching staff that just continues to get better as this season progresses.
Yeah, I think regardless of what time of year we're talking about, that was fantastic to witness, fantastic to watch, and what a great sign for this team to be like, oh, wait, we go into the playoffs and have those 2 front runners giving us our first 2 games and can lock it down for 7 innings, which is something we kind of already knew at this point, but to do it against one of the better teams in all of baseball, I mean, we're talking magic from what we saw this weekend. And definitely, it's something we should all be excited about.
Tyler, are you excited?
I mean, look, that's a pretty good series I mean, we talked coming into this homestand that if they could split and go 3-3, that'd be pretty good against 2 of the better teams in the National League. Well, they've already done that. So now you just got to win this series. You've got a great homestand. Um, but yeah, I mean, anytime you get Colton Gordon out dueling Zach Wheeler and shutting down, a very good team. Like there's so many names in that Phillies lineup. Um, I mean, again, this kind of falls under the like Mike Trout, Aaron Judge level for Kyle Schwarber, where I know that he is a good baseball player, but I have never seen him be that good of a baseball player because every time the Astros play him, he just looks silly. And it's the same with like I said, Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, they both are hitting like 200 in their career against the Astros. I feel like Kyle Schwarber is very similar, where the Astros have just they've figured out these guys, and it doesn't matter who they're throwing. It was nice to see some lefty representation out there, and get that shutout. But yeah, really really encouraging series.
Devers is that guy for me. That
Mm-hmm.
the Astros. I know Rafael Devers is an incredible hitter, incredible player, but every time the Astros play him, they just throw him 4 seams up, and he can't hit them. He's that guy that every writer, like Tyler was saying, everybody has that one guy that is good, and you watch them play, and you leave the series like, how is this guy that good? Because he never does anything. And Devers is that guy for me. Let's talk about Hunter Brown real quick. I feel like you can never talk enough about him. Yesterday should have been not a disadvantage matchup, but it should have been a tougher matchup for Hunter Brown yesterday. The Phillies hit velocity better than any lineup in the sport. They entered yesterday with the highest batting average in baseball against 4-seam fastballs. Hunter Brown entered yesterday, allowing a 105 batting average against his 4-seam fastball. So it was good on good yesterday. Hunter Brown threw 28 4-seam fastballs to the Phillies lineup yesterday. They did not put one of them in play. They whiffed 3 times. They fouled off 7 of them, and they took 7 more called strikes. He was up to 98. He has a 1.74 ERA, which is the 4th lowest ERA in franchise history after 16 starts. The first 16 starts of a season. The only other 3 pitchers that had a lower one in Astros history are Roger Clemens, Nolan Ryan, and Justin Verlander. That's pretty good company for Hunter Brown, and I kind of begs the question: he should start the All-Star game, right? Like we're all in agreement here that he is the All-Star game starter, correct?
I'm
I
100%.
I think so. I mean, obviously Tarek Skubal has uh, just as much of a track record and has been incredible this year. But I mean, goodness, I don't know what else Hunter Brown has to do. Like I joked on Twitter that you know I know that he's given up a run this year I know his ERA is not 0, but I can't remember that happening. It just feels like every start is 7 shutout innings, and you're always like, I mean, he could throw the 8th if they really needed him to. That felt the same in this game. If it were a playoff game, you're like, I don't know, maybe they'd bring him back out. But I mean, he's incredible. It is truly remarkable watching him pitch. And like you said, it doesn't matter who he's facing, his stuff just gets guys out. And I mean, yeah, that deserves to be an all-star starter to me.
Yeah, it really does. When you talk about, we'll go back to like the team versus fastballs and Hunter Brown being the best fastball thrower that they have in the business. So that makes it fun in itself, and it shows that on pretty much any given day, better pitching is going to be the better hitting factor. As much as I don't care to admit that, it is a game of failure, but success comes in small bursts in this game, and usually they do have the upper hand. And that when that situation happens, they're usually going to come out on top. But I mean, this guy, you got to remember too, starting the All-Star game, and it doesn't go into play or factor into any kind of voting, which it should. Is like, Scubo's had his lineup do fantastic things, whereas like Hunter Brown has been kind of blown back by some no decisions and some fantastic starts. He's done it without the likes of the heart of his lineup. This team has been without Jordan forever, and the run production that comes from this lineup isn't there. So I think that takes little bit of a toll into it as well, which unrealistically it shouldn't, because Pena should be starting as well as Jake Myers should be higher than Trout. But we're going off of fan voting, which I think is the dumbest thing that Major League Baseball has done with the All-Star game in forever. So it is what it is. You move on, but at the same time, it's very frustrating because guys with numbers should play. Isn't that what being an All-Star is about?
Yeah,
That's cleanup hitter Jake Myers to you.
yeah.
Cleanup hitter. My apologies.
Yeah, I don't think it was a surprise yesterday necessarily that the voting, the final round of voting came out, and the Astros will not have a position player start in the All-Star game. Jeremy Pena obviously is, if you go by statistics, it is either him or Jacob Wilson, who Jacob Wilson's the A shortstop that advanced to the finals, and he could start. But Jeremy Pena still has the second highest B WAR in baseball behind Aaron Judge. He is without a shadow of a doubt, a top 3 player in the American League. If you are going solely by statistics, Jeremy Pena should be starting the All-Star game, but he will get on the team, which in the end is, and Josh, you could disagree with me if you think differently, like he's going to get on the team and he's going to be able to put on his resume that he is an all-star, which is really all that matters. At the end of the day, I'm sure he would love to stand out there in the first couple innings and start the game, but he is going to be an all-star, which at the end of the day is really all that matters.
Yeah, and it isn't like a starter versus an all-star. What do you call them? Reserve doesn't change anything on your resume or your contract talks. It's not like you're going to go in there. Well, I got an all-star game start against this guy, so that should get me $5 more million. So you're right. It doesn't matter. And I've never been to that. I never got to that point in my career. So yeah, I can imagine just being like, just to have it, just to bring that All-Star game jersey home, hang it up, and put it there, and just be able to look at it and go, I got one of them at least, and just be. I 100% agree with you.
Who else? Obviously Hunter Brown's going to be there. Jeremy Pena should be there. Hader should definitely be there. I think just because of the volume of starters that are going to pitch on Saturday or Sunday before the All-Star game, and they're going to be unavailable, like you always see a backlog of pitchers that aren't selected the first time get in.
5 guys, at least like 5 guys.
Right. That's why I think Framber Valdez, if Framber Valdez doesn't get in initially, he will probably be named as a replacement for one of the guys that pitches on Saturday or Sunday. So I think both Brown and Valdez get in. Pena should. Pena's a no doubter. Hader will get in. Brian Abreu is going to get bitten by. He's not a closer, and when you're adding reliever, it's really hard for a middle reliever to make an all-star team. Really, really hard. You saw it. I mean, the Astros, Josh, when you played, Chris Davinsky made it once. Will Harris made it once. Like, it has been done. The Astros have done it, but it's really hard for middle relievers and even setup men to make the All-Star game. So I think the Astros will end up having 4 guys. I think it'll be Pena, Hader, Valdez, and Brown. But certainly Myers has made a case. Isaac Paredes has made a case. But I think those 4 will be the guys that go to Atlanta. next month to play in the All-Star game. But before that, they've got to deal with the Cubs and they've got to deal with the rest of this first half. We will talk about the Chicago Cubs and a couple of guys making their returns to Daikin Park right after a message from our friends at Foul Territory.
FT fam, did you know that Huel has sold over 500 million meals around the world, and now it is your turn to try it. While I drink it.
Drink up, Scott, so I can discuss Huel and how I love it. I had some for breakfast this morning. I like to drink it post-workout because of the protein included in it. It always tastes delicious, whether it's strawberry, banana, chocolate, vanilla, whatever the flavor is. It tastes like a dessert, honestly. It should not taste as good as it does.
I agree. New customers get 15% off plus a free gift at Huel.com when you use the FT code. That is FOUL, F-O-U-L, at Huel.com/FOUL. Don't miss out. Try Huel today for a perfectly balanced meal. If you miss a meal, if you're looking for a little protein boost, you just saw me drinking the Black Edition ready to drink. There's the vanilla flavor. I love what the chocolate brings to the table. It's really damn good. So give it a shot, FT fam. 15% off plus a free gift for new customers with the code FOUL.
As we teased, the Chicago Cubs are coming to Daikin Park with everyone's most recognizable faces: Ian Happ, Matt Bush, Seiya Suzuki, every names that everyone knows, and of course Kyle Tucker. And
it's the return of a world champion right fielder for the Astros. Josh Reddick will be in the park, so it's everybody that you want to see.
Yeah, let's not forget America's closer, Ryan Presley. He's coming back as well. We can't forget the former closer.
No, it'll be fun to see both of those guys. Certainly, I think more fun for both teams because both teams have had so much success this year. Both teams are quite good, and I think because these two teams did so much business in the offseason together, I think their seasons were always going to be kind of intertwined, given what the Astros got from the Cubs for Kyle Tucker and how the Astros bullpen would come into form after they traded their setup man and Ryan Presley. But I think first of all, let's talk about the Kyle Tucker trade. I don't think we can assess this trade fully in June of the first year of it. Obviously, we don't know what Kyle Tucker is going to do after the season. We don't know the long term, how Cam Smith, Isaac Paredes, and Hayden Wesneski are going to be long term, but short term, the early returns on this trade, guys, is that both teams, this was a win-win trade for both teams, and it has played out that way for the first 3 months of the season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Kyle Tucker has been great, just as you would imagine. Exactly what the Cubs needed to shore up their lineup, to help some fella named Pete Crow Armstrong, who's incredible. I mean, he's been amazing. I'm excited to get to watch him. But yeah, I mean, obviously the Astros got to restock. They shored up their third base and right field. Hayden Wesneski will exist at some point, I would imagine. But you're right. It's been a win-win for both of them, and they come in at the exact halfway mark with the exact same record, which I don't think I would have anticipated coming into the year.
That's a fun little storybook line you just dropped right there, Tyler. But yeah. It's always fun. I mean, return of players is always a great time because you always get the little hype video before the game, and hey, get out there a little early, kind of wave your hat, kind of give the people some thanks. So it's always a good feeling to kind of get that little adrenaline rush back into the body, and that's for the fans. It gives them a chance to show their appreciation on a completely different level. So I'm kind of excited to be there. They might have. They could have picked somebody else for the return of Tucker, the guy who took my job, but it is what it is. It's going to be fun to see him, and I'll get down there and hopefully chat with him and catch up with those guys. It's always good to catch up with former teammates as well. So we'll see a lot of handshakes, a lot of hugs behind the batting tunnel tonight.
Josh, what was it like for you when you went back to Oakland? With the first time you went back to Oakland, maybe whether it was with the Dodgers or whether it was when you came to Houston, what was it like when you went back to Oakland?
Not sold out.
It was not. It was not.
No, it was awesome. I mean, obviously the sellouts are fun, but I had I don't think it would have been the Oakland experience that I would have expected if it was sold out to have that kind of feeling to it. So it was awesome. You know, in right field, they were packed house out there, and they unrolled a big old sheet of paper that said "Orange isn't my color," which is not wrong because orange is my least favorite color on the spectrum wheel. Go Dogs! And so you know, and they weren't wrong in that. But it was always good to have them show the love and to get back out there because it's always fun to be able to run out there. And you know, after that first inning was over, it was right back to treating me just like a person in a gray uniform, which is what I really love about that place. Is they're going to give you a hard time no matter who you were, who you've been, and you know who you are now. And then after the game, we all went out and had a couple of drinks and hung out after they were heckling me for 8 innings. So that's what makes it great there.
They played Careless Whisper for you, didn't they? When you walked
Sure
up?
did. Sure did. Yep. And that was unexpected, or kind of expected. They didn't tell me they were going to do it, but you know, I think you had a feeling that anytime you go back, you always get your little entrance music back there, and that's obviously what I was known for there. So that's always special and fun to get the walk up on the road. You don't get that a whole lot.
The Astros will definitely play Kyle Tucker's walk up before at least his first at bat tonight, which was actually Michael Brantley's walk up.
Brantley's, yep.
It was walk through. Think they play if Ryan Presley's coming in a 1-run game in the 8th inning? You think they're going to play God's going to cut you down as he's running?
I don't know if Johnny Cash is making an appearance
I
tonight.
don't think so.
Maybe if he comes in a honestly, if he comes in a lopsided game, if the Astros are up, 5 or 6 runs, maybe they try to do that. But I think that would be more kind of insulting than anything.
No, you let him give it up, then play it as he's walking off the mound of the dugout.
There's a little more animosity to that song too, of like I'm going to cut you down. Like that's a little tougher to play towards your own players.
This Cubs team, like Tyler mentioned, like Kyle Tucker is having a very nice year. He's got a 164 OPS plus, which is very, very good. But I mean, Pete Crow Armstrong has been kind of the story of this Cubs team. He has been a revolution, a guy that, always had the prospect hype, could never really put it together, and has put it together and then some this year. Was a trendy early season National League MVP talk, dark horse kind of guy. Obviously, Ohtani being in the National League now is going to make it hard. But Pete Crow Armstrong, he's electric in center field. He's electric at the plate. He is worth the price of admission. But this is a Cubs team all in all that can really hit. And we just talked about the Phillies came in here with a star-studded lineup, but you look, their production maybe didn't match some of the names. They've got some guys that are slumping a little bit. Bryce Harper wasn't in the lineup. This Cubs team can rake, and the Astros will not be throwing both Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez in this series. Framber will pitch the Sunday game. I expect Lance McCullers will pitch on Saturday. That has not been made official, but all signs point to Lance McCullers pitching on Saturday, and then Brandon Walter will pitch tonight, a left-hander, against a Cubs lineup that is going to really, really be difficult for this team to navigate, especially because the Astros are going to go in. Their bullpen is going to be on fumes because the byproduct of playing all these close games and playing all these 1- and 2-run games is Joe Espada had to use his leverage guys that whole Phillies series. So they're going to be a little exhausted. I think the Astros will be a little short pitching wise. So it would help them if the lineup could give them some margin for error, give them some breathing room. This is not I'll give the Astros offense a little bit of a reprieve against the Phillies. They faced 3 excellent starters, and Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez, and Zach Wheeler. The Phillies can really pitch it. The Cubs cannot. They're an okay pitching staff, but they are not going to see the level of pitching that they just saw from the Phillies. Josh, Jordan's not coming back for at least, obviously not this series, and he's not coming back anytime in the very near future.
No.
What can this lineup do to help its pitching staff a little bit to maybe expand the margin for error and not have this pitching staff just feel like they have to go out and be perfect? Because what they just did against the Phillies, allowing 1 run in 27 innings, that's not sustainable.
No, it's not. It's not something you can lean on for very long, and you got to figure something out. And like you said, the level of pitching staff is going to change that. It should help out this lineup to, maybe be a little bit more locked in because they did just face such a good staff. And Zach Wheeler's been one of the best pitchers in baseball for the last couple of years, flying under the radar at that, doesn't get the love that he deserves. But you come into a team where they're not pitching as great. But then again, like you said, you're going to have a wary bullpen. You're going to have to rely on at least two or three or four guys even tonight that aren't used to these high leverage situations to possibly jump into that role tonight, because your guys have to rest for at least one, if not two games this series. They might be only available for tomorrow's game to give you those innings. But this team's just got to do good. It's got to be better with runners in scoring position, as hard as that's been for them this year. Hopefully it's with two outs. We know how much they love to score with two outs. So just find a way. Just find a way to score runs. That's really just all it is.
What can you attribute the two? Like, is this just one of baseball's like randomness that we'll never be able to explain, like why this team is so good with two outs?
Yeah, there's really no explanation for it. It's not like they go up there going, "Man, I want to get the first two guys out, and then we'll start scoring guys." So I don't know. I mean, how it's not really something you can explain. It's just something that happens, and I think that, at this point, it's probably a running joke in the dugout. All right, guys, we got two outs. Now we can score. Ha, and then all of a sudden you're running up three runs in a matter of four hitters with two outs. So it's definitely noticed. I can guarantee you that. But I mean, as to why and how, there's no way. Baseball's dumb.
Yeah, I mean their record in one-run games is outrageous this year too. So it's just one of those. Sometimes you have a year where
And they've only lost one extra inning game, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. They're like 5-1 or something, 6-1.
I think they've won what 8 of their last one-run games or something like that. I mean you got it, Chandler?
Yeah, they are 17-7 in one-run games this year. For reference, they won 18 one-run games all of last year.
Yeah, and it's not really, like we said, it's not like a changed strategy or any like it. That's just kind of random, and it happens to be on the Astros way right now, and you'll take it. But yeah, the two out thing is certainly interesting. But I mean, there's something to be said about the team feels like they're able to do it, and they're not in their heads when they get up with two outs. It's just, okay, we've done it before, we'll do it again, and you can kind of build on that.
One thing that I think could help, and this is a lot easier said than done. One thing that this club has, and you guys watch this, like they are not great in the first inning. They've scored the fewest first inning runs of any team in baseball. But one thing that's kind of beyond that, only the Rockies have a lower OPS as a team when they see a starter for the first time. So that's not the first time seeing a starter, period. It's seeing the starter the first time in a game. Lineup. So like the first time through a lineup against a starting pitcher, only the Rockies have a lower OPS than the Astros this season. Now that ratchets up. The Astros are much better the second and third time through. But, I do wonder, Josh, if maybe, getting to some starters a little bit earlier. I'm not saying score 10 runs every first inning, but getting your pitching a lead a little bit earlier than maybe the fifth or the sixth inning, it may not be quantifiable, but I think for vibes, and I think just to kind of let the dugout breathe a little bit, let the pitching staff breathe a little bit, and not feel like every pitch from pitch one in a game is life or death, is like the result hangs in the balance of every pitch. I think that could be beneficial as well.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, not only for your pitching staff, for your lineup, I mean, for your coaching staff, your manager can kind of sit back and relax a little bit and give the boys kind of some breathing room. So, yeah, I think it's something they definitely need to figure out and address. And, who knows? They might just be like, you know what, this is working for us. We'll just do it the way we've been doing it. But at the same time, you're right. Like, especially these next two games, you're going to have Lance out there more than likely coming back and not going to be on a very long leash. Tonight they're not going to have a very long leash. So it'd be nice to give them a little bit longer leash. Give these guys up to 90-plus pitches to where they can have a 4-run lead. In that case, something happens, then they don't have to panic and get their big guys up. So, yeah, it's something that they definitely need to figure out.
Yeah, the Cubs come in with a 3.85 team ERA, which is smack dab in the middle of baseball. So again, this is not a bad pitching staff by any stretch of the imagination, but it is not the Phillies. It is not what you just saw with the 3 starters that the Phillies ran out there. So I will be more interested this weekend to watch the lineup, because I think by now we can confidently say that this pitching staff is elite. Like the Astros have an elite pitching staff, barring injuries, barring just a complete 180 of an implosion across the next 81 games. This has always been and was always going to be a run prevention team. and they are preventing runs at an elite level. Only the Rangers are allowing fewer runs per game than the Astros. Now the Astros do have the fourth lowest ERA in baseball, but only the Rangers are allowing more total runs per game. So this has been a run prevention machine that has a great defense behind it, that has obviously a pitching staff that is doing some incredible things, but they've got to get contributions from the lineup. And I think it has crystallized. If we didn't know before, I think these last couple of weeks have crystallized that the Astros have got to prioritize getting a bat at the deadline. I know Yordan Alvarez is going to come back and he will be a welcome addition, but I think, guys, even when we were watching Alvarez in this lineup, it felt a bat short, and I think they're going to need to address that.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the Cubs lineup, you see a very stark difference in, you know, their lineup and the Astros lineup. So the Cubs have one player in their starting lineup with an OPS plus below 100. They have 5 guys above 135. The Astros have one. That's Jeremy Pena. And they have 4 guys in their lineup with a sub 100 OPS plus. So I mean, the Cubs just are relentless. Every guy on that team is an above average hitter, and so like we said, you're not able to just focus on one guy and avoid him and try to avoid damage that way. You got to get everybody out the whole time, and yeah, that's gonna put some strain on your pitchers. So it's going to be a really good test for the entire pitching staff.
Josh, what kind of profile bat does this team need at the deadline?
Whew. Well, we got to have a lefty. Lefty is obvious, I think.
Get in the cage then.
Mm-hmm.
Have you not seen my Instagram?
I have, yes.
I'm
I know
in the cage.
You're getting ready. You're getting ready.
I'm getting ready. Not for that, but that'll be announced soon enough. See, I think, oh gosh, I don't want to take Cam Smith out of right. I mean, this kid's just getting better and better.
You better not.
I would never, even if I wouldn't say that in front of Tyler. That's the question. Do you prioritize like a left fielder? I mean, because you're bouncing so many guys around there. I mean,
I'll just take
they
one.
They definitely need some power. They definitely need some power. I mean, lefty power is where I think it matters, and wherever. I mean, there's just so many positions you can't really just take them away. You can't just take short, third, second, whoever's there that day. Seems like if you get your left-handed outfielder, you put Altuve back at second. And, do you suffer that defensive strategy for a left-handed hitting power outfielder?
What's Daryl
lefty power? Let's leave it at that.
They need power. They need power. Yeah, they need power in any way they can get it, because they're slugging. Like, that's one thing this team is not doing. They're not hitting the ball out of the ballpark. They don't have a ton of thump. Obviously, Yordan Alvarez will help that when he gets back, but they are more athletic than they have been, which is allowing kind of this offense to be a little more dynamic. Like, they're taking more extra bases. They're going first to third more. They're going second to home more. They've got more just overall athleticism, and they're more aggressive on the bases, which is allowing this to work for now. But Josh, you've seen it. Like, in the playoffs, hitting the ball out of the ballpark is what wins. Like, homers and pitching win in the playoffs. And obviously this team will have pitching. I don't know where the homers are going to come from. Let's hear from our friends at Foul Territory one more time before we talk about maybe what this past series did for our overall view of the season. But right now, a message from our friends at Foul Territory.
Kratz, real talk. I do not carry cash around me, but what I do carry around on my phone is Cash App.
Easy peasy. Like I said before, anytime Scott can pay for the tab, that is good. And it's always right there. Fast, easy, always available.
Yeah. Oh, my credit card's not working, or, oh, I didn't bring cash with me. There's no more alligator arms. Do you have your phone? Most people have their phone. So use Cash App. It's secure and safe. There's no waiting around. It is a super, super easy sign-up process. You can sign up quicker than you can listen to Kratz and I talk about Cash App. For a limited time only for the FT fam, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, no catch. Just download Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code Territory in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App.
So, according to Fangraphs, the Astros entered this series against the Phillies with 7% odds to win the World Series. They exited after the sweep. Their
9%.
odds are up to 7.9%. So
Yeah.
almost a percentage point increase over 3 games. Again, it's June 27th. It's kind of foolish to start thinking this far ahead, but I do wonder, like, the Phillies are one of the best teams the National League has to offer. We all understand that the National League is a better league than the American League this year.
Mm-hmm.
It just top to bottom, it is deeper. There's more talent. They just have better teams in the National League. The Astros just handled one of the best teams the National League can offer, albeit in a way that may be a little unsustainable. Like we said, I'm not sure the Astros are going to live off allowing 1 run in 27 innings. Did the weekend change kind of your overall thoughts of this team's ceiling and what the Astros can accomplish this season?
I mean, they've just been this team the whole year. You know, it's not like it's just been this one series where the pitching showed up and they were able to eke out that series. Like they've been doing it, and sorry, and to do it against, like you said, one of the best teams in the NL. There's no reason to expect them not to be able to do that in a short playoff series. So I mean, that's what we always say, is you just got to get into the playoffs, and then anything can happen. I mean, they started the year at 3.8% to win the World Series. They're up to 8% now. I mean, even the best possible, like the Dodgers right now are at 24%. So like even the best team possible is not going to be drastically higher than that. And so you just got to get in. And the way that the Astros have found success this year with just not allowing runs is a good strategy in October. So I mean, that was very, very encouraging to see.
Just get in. Just get in, because as we've seen, it's about getting in and getting hot. Whoever's hot at the right time is going to win, regardless of who's in the playoffs. And we've seen this lineup hit good pitching too. I mean, I covered I think it was a Seattle series where they got to, was it George Kirby?
Yep.
The first time ever in like 8 starts, put up like 7 against him, and put up really good numbers against the starting staff. So it's there. You just got to get in and get hot. And we've seen it on both sides of that coin. So it doesn't matter. Just get there.
Yeah, and I think Tyler and I were talking about on the last pod, Josh. About the when we're talking about whether it's going to become the norm for the Astros to trade guys maybe going in their last year if they're not going to pay them. We were talking about that, and we started talking about, like, did the Astros believe they were a legitimate World Series contender before this season? And my counter was always that they thought they could win the division. Dana Brown came out and said that they had models that said they could win the division without one of Kyle Tucker or Framber Valdez. If you think you can win the division, you automatically think you're a World Series contender, because once you get in, it is such a crapshoot. And I remember talking to people. I mean, do you remember how close the 2022 Astros were to losing that ALDS against the Mariners? Like, it took Yordan Alvarez being Superman, and it took Jeremy Pena having a big swing in the 18th inning in Seattle to win the series. There were people within the Astros that pretty firmly said that Seattle was the team out of anyone that they were most scared of going into that playoff run. And it just shows, like, that was a Seattle team that, lost the division by a bunch of games, snuck into a third wild card, and put the biggest scare into what was the best team in baseball that year. It does not, the regular season matters. You have to, form a foundation. You have to form an identity. You have to form how you're going to play. But, like, once you wipe the slate clean in the playoffs, it's really just about getting hot and who's hot, who's pitching well. And the Astros, Josh, if you can run out Framber Valdez and Hunter Brown twice in a 5-game series, maybe 4 times in a 7-game series, they're going to have an advantage over basically anyone they play, presuming those guys stay healthy.
Oh my goodness! Could you imagine? It'd be like facing the freaking 2012 Detroit Tigers all over again. Max Scherzer and JV, 4 out of 5 games in 7 days. So I mean, those days can get scary for a lineup to come into the work office and have to focus on that day. Are you kidding me? You got Hunter Brown, Framber, Valdez going for you, and gosh forbid, you get Hunter. Just you get both of those guys 7 innings. That's 4 games of your best starters, Brian Abreu and Josh Hader, that can win you a very easily 2-0, 2-1, 1-0 ball game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander. It's kind of like 2019 when you guys came to the ballpark, 2 out of every 5 days, just kind of knowing like, man, we're going to win today. And then
we had Zach Greinke.
Yeah.
He was our number 3. He was pretty good too. So yeah, it was more or less 5 out of 5 because it didn't matter if, Bugs Bunny was pitching to, the New York Yankees on an episode. It was our lineup. We were going to score 10 if they were going to give up 9.
I think Bugs Bunny is scheduled to start on Tuesday for the Astros at this point. That's who they're running out every.
And he'd probably go 4-2. He'd probably go at 4 and give up 2 and then hand it over for a W.
I don't know.
There's so many guys on this team. They're like Cooper Hummel won a game this week. Like, what are we doing? Like this Astros team, there's something in the water where they're getting it done, and it's encouraging for sure.
Josh, I'm often asked to explain this, so I'm gonna get someone that was in the clubhouse to explain it. Culture is a word that gets thrown around a lot, and it's almost impossible to define. Like, what is it about? Because Joe Espada said something after the game yesterday when he was asked a question, basically like what Tyler just said, like, how do you guys keep doing this with all these random names that no one's ever heard of? And Joe said something. He said, when you walk in that clubhouse, it's contagious. And he never said what the it was. And I mean, it's referring to the culture, and it's just kind of referring to the understanding. But as someone that has lived it, Josh, what is it about walking into that clubhouse and into that culture that allows this to happen?
Well, it's the understanding of winning. This organization has gotten so used to winning over the last 10 years that it becomes contagious. You walk in there and it's just different. You have, with guys like Altuve walking around there who have been there through it all. Everybody just knows what to expect. They come in there and, they get it. They understand that, it doesn't matter. We're just here to win. Nothing else matters.
Can I just tell you, as a person who has watched the Astros my entire life, how jarring it is to hear people talk about the Astros just have a winning culture like that. That changed in the last 10 years. Prior to 2015, that is not a sentence that you would ever have said about the Astros. And really, I mean, until the 2017 World Series, it's like, well, they're good, but it's never going to happen. And now for the last 8 years, it's just, why wouldn't you expect the Astros to be World Series contenders? Which is just, I mean, it goes to show again, the continuity of having Altuve there throughout all of this. That's the only person you can really point to and say, well, he's been there the whole time. There's got to be something.
How dare you not mention Javier Bracamane? How dare you?
Come on, I got a signed ball here somewhere from '85.
And it's rare around baseball too. For those that don't understand how rare a good culture and a winning atmosphere is, I was in an Arizona Diamondbacks clubhouse for almost 3 months, and it was my worst experience in baseball. So this is 2021. This is 2021. When we went on a 21 game losing streak or something. And it just nobody cared. Nobody cared about winning. So it's a completely. I've been in probably the best clubhouse in baseball history, and that one probably has to be up there with one of the worst. So it is rare to have this kind of feeling in a ballpark.
But it can change really quickly because that team was awful, and then what?
2 years later, they're in the World
Series. So
I mean, it can. But it's not really. That's not really a winning culture. That's just a team. And that season needs to be looked at because these are two teams who have not been very good since, weren't very good before. But I'm just saying, So yeah, and they're not a winning culture. They're down. I mean, look at them. They're right back in to where they were at in third place in the division, and that's dominated by two way better teams than they are. So I wouldn't even call it a winning culture there.
That's what I'm saying is so remarkable about the Astros is that it wasn't these blips. I mean, there's the whole infrastructure of the 2017, 2019, just like gauntlet teams are not here anymore, but the ghosts of it are, right? Like it still feels like, oh, this is the team that you just have to look out for. Again, absolutely no disrespect, but Jake Myers is hitting cleanup for this team, and they have the second best record in the American League. Like there's something that they are doing that, you know, whether it's a placebo effect or not, but the team plays like a team that expects to be in the World Series every year. And there's something to be said about showing up to the ballpark every day with that expectation in mind.
There's also a lot of cool things to look at when you're walking into that clubhouse. There's a lot of
Give us a
banners.
rundown.
There's a lot of, winning banners over the last couple of seasons. When you look at, 2 World Series banners hanging right there when you first walk in. Chandler sees them every day.
Mm-hmm.
So it is. It's a cool hallway to walk into. And
do.
I mean, it's got the history part of things makes it fun as well.
Did you know about Astros legend Yogi Berra until you saw it in one of the team photos before playing there?
I did not.
There you go. That's the winning culture. It's Yogi
Exactly.
Berra.
There's always something.
Something Mauricio Dubon told me after the game yesterday, because I've had to do this like 10 times since I've started covering this team, where I just have to write a story. It's like, how are you guys doing this? Like, how does this keep happening? How does this? And I asked him at the clubhouse, like, how do you guys keep this kind of turnkey operation going with as names change and faces change and things like that? Dubon said, I'll read the quote verbatim. He said, "We don't have many rules. If you perform, if you're ready to go at 7 p.m., okay, good. Get between the lines. We try to make everybody feel comfortable." And I think that's something that can't go overstated, because, like, as we've talked about, like, there have been so many different people that have come in, like people from other organizations, people, they've claimed off the waiver wire one day that they've never met before. And I think it's just such a welcoming environment. And it's something where there's not cliques. There's not all the Latino guys are hanging out with all, like, in one corner, all the white guys are hanging out in the other corner. Like, it's very much like, and again, this is the only team I've ever covered, so I don't know if it's like that. And Josh, you can maybe be a little bit more, lend more perspective, but I don't think it's like that everywhere, where everyone genuinely seems to like each other. And that's not always the case.
Yeah, and usually it's not by like race or ethnicity, and it's usually by position. Usually, right. I've seen it where relief pitchers are with relief pitchers, starters hang out with starters. They kind of mesh too, but then, like, obviously your outfielders are with these guys. But this is kind of the group you're with all the time. When you go to spring training, who are you with? You're with your group all morning. Mm-hmm. Who are you going to the cage with? You're going with your group to the cage, and once you get there, you're doing all your work. So it's kind of normal for that stuff to happen. And then when BP happens, that's when people kind of fluctuate, and that's what makes it so great, because even in the clubhouses, I've been in a few of them in Oakland, where, like, we were kind of separated, but we still found ways to win, but we weren't as close as some teams like we were in the Houston clubhouse either. So, but yeah, it's cool, because when I played, it was all about giving everybody else a hard time. Like, it was always about picking on somebody else, finding something to just kind of get them flustered and riled up, while them doing it right back to you. So that's what kept it fun for us and made it, kept it fresh. But like you said, when 7 o'clock rolls around, the lights come on. It's all about winning, and then everything from then on doesn't matter.
There you go. They need to bully more. That's what Josh says.
Pretty much. Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Keep you on your toes. Stay light. Have a good time. It's fun.
Did you ever call Altuve short to his face? Did anyone ever bring that up?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've called him that to his face. I mean, Springer probably reiterated it every day. And then people piggybacked off of it because George could do whatever he wanted. But yeah, I mean, nobody was off target. Justin Verlander wasn't off limits unless it was a start day. That was pretty much the only rule. Was that just don't mess with a starter on a start day, and you're pretty much good. But other than that, you're fair game. I'll yell at you from one side of the field if I want to.
Does Verlander have custom tight pants? Like, are those like special ordered for him?
I think those have gotten tighter over the course of his career.
There's no way those are like stock pants.
I don't
right?
remember those being that tight in his time as an Astro.
Oh, trust me.
I wasn't looking in that vicinity either.
You were behind him. What are you talking about? You had the best view.
No, Correa probably had the best one.
That's true.
But no, I was focusing on a hitter. I wasn't distracted by silly things.
Well, we need you to investigate that. I need to know if he's special ordering pants. So
it's Verlander. I don't even have to find out. It's Verlander. He's special ordering pants.
Congratulations to Justin Verlander and Kate Upton, who just welcomed their son last week, Bellamy Brooks Verlander. How many wins do you think Bellamy Verlander is going to have in the big leagues? That is going to be one incredibly gifted young man.
I mean, if he can get one, they'll have the like father-son duo record, right? I mean, nobody's topping what Verlander's doing in the modern era. So all he needs is one, so we can add that to the trivia box. That
is some charmed genes.
Doesn't even need any. Just get in the game.
Speaking of charmed jeans, his pants. Am I right?
Those custom order tight pants. Red, what are you wearing on the pregame show today?
I have yet to pick my outfit for this series. Probably need to start doing that, but I got time. I don't have to leave for about another 4 hours. So,
Josh, I saw F1 and IMAX last night. And
how was it?
It ruled. I think you could tell I was thinking as I was watching this, I was like, could a 5 or 6 year old see this? Like, I think your son would be into it. I mean, he wouldn't
awesome. Move. He would not get out of his chair. I guarantee you that.
Go see it in IMAX. Obviously, there's the Showbiz, down in Baytown. I saw it at the AMC out in Gold.
We go to the one at Liberty Lakes.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I forget you're rich.
It's if you would have let me finish, we usually go get some sushi at Shogun right there, then hit the movie.
Oh, yeah, like that's not proving my point. You get some pre-movie sushi. Get out of here. Popcorn was my dinner yesterday. I had to pick between eating that or eating dinner. But F1 ruled. Right. You should go see it. I'll go see it again. It was awesome.
Josh, I hope you pick something nice to wear.
He left. He's mad that he's like, how dare you talk about racing in front of me?
He's very mad. Oh, there he is. Now he's back, and he's got
other little walked in.
Okay.
Oh man,
checking in.
Well, I guess that's our cue to wrap up. So you can go pick out your outfit and take care of your children before you have to go to the ballpark to do.
It won't be orange. I can promise you that.
It will not be orange. Orange is not your color.
No.
Cubs, Astros this weekend at Dyken Park. You can watch Josh Reddick on the pre and post game shows on Space City Home Network. As always, you can follow him on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, at JRedDubDeuce. You can follow Tyler at Tyler C. Stafford. I'm at Chandler_Rome. Please, as always, like, rate, and review us on Apple and Spotify. You can leave comments on Spotify episodes now, which is something we just learned, which is scary to think. I can't wait to go read those later. Please subscribe on YouTube so you can get notified anytime we put up a new video. We will be back on Sunday to discuss whatever happens between the Astros and Kyle Tucker's Chicago Cubs this weekend. Thanks as always for listening, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.